Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hi everyone, welcome to It's Me Time podcast with Mary Ève. I know it's been a while if you follow me. If you're up to date with my podcast, it's been a couple weeks. I agree. For me, it is important that I offer you content that I'm excited to share with you. And so the weeks that I'm not fully on, I do not do it. So, but once I'm in alignment, I give you a bunch of videos and a bunch of audios. So this is how I work for the moment. And as I follow my excitement, and I want to give you good stories, right? I want to give you not just theory. I want to give you life experience that I've had. And I had a couple of experiences the past couple of weeks, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun and a lot of breakthroughs as well. So I'm Ève Mongrain. I am a mindset and self-love life coach, and I'm here to help you create your reality and actually at least change or help you in changing your mindset for a more abundant versus a lacking one. So what we're going to talk about today, I've got a few things. I won't give you the whole list, but we're going to start with the first one, which is the skunk. You'll be like, what's going on with a skunk? Yeah, actually this morning at 2 a.m., I was asleep, and then my dog is like, he doesn't bark, he doesn't like go, wah, wah. He goes, like a very soft bark. And I'm like, just go pee on the floor. I don't want to get up. My dog does pee on the floor sometimes. And when I don't want to get up, that was our routine actually for the first many months. When I didn't have the energy to get out of bed, I'm like, that's fine. I tried to get him on the pad, didn't work. So I just accepted that I was gonna clean pee on the floor. And so some nights I'm like, I value my sleep more than my floor. And so yesterday I was about to sit in bed, and actually I got up. And so what happened is I put him outside. I'm like, all right, go pee quick. And as soon as he was out the door, I hear, he was running. I could only see the shadow. He was running back and forth. And I'm like, oh, schnut. And I'm like, oh no, there's a skunk, because I could see the other shadow. I'm like, oh, fudge. Skunk. No, I'm like, thanks, Philip. Come back. Come on, baby. Nom, 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 nom. Right? If I have a nanan, like a little treat. Yeah, I know you heard that. Sorry. And he would not come. And I was like, oh my God. And just before that, as he was outside, I was sitting on my chair in the kitchen. And there's a smell in my kitchen. I tried to remove it. I think there's a dead mouse like in the back of the pantry where I can't access it. Last time it smelled like that. That's what it was. And I can't access it. And I was like, universe, it would be nice if you could remove that smell. And then boom, the skunk happened. Happy Friday, Kevin. I'm live on TikTok. And then the skunk event happened. I'm like, well, you did ask to remove the smell of the whatever in the kitchen, right? I'm like, oh God, I didn't want to just like cover it. Even worse, I guess it was gone for a while. Like, oh my God. So my dog came back. I picked him up. Like, it was not wet. Actually, it was not wet. And I picked him up, and I was like, I just smelled him. Like, oh gosh. I brought him in the bathroom. I closed the door. I'm like, you're going to stay there. And I started smelling myself. Like, oh, I can't go back to bed with that smell. It smelled awful. I don't know if you guys have ever encountered a skunk. You sometimes on the side of the road, it's like, oh, that smells gross. The dog, I didn't have tomato juice. And I'm like, what the heck do I do now? The stores are closed. It's 2 a.m., right? Thank God for Google. Thank God for everyone out there who's posting content on their own tricks. I actually used, it's a soda, like a quarter cup of soda. For those out there is what they need, maybe what they need. Quarter cup of soda with a quart of peroxide and a teaspoon of dish soap, or two teaspoons of dish soap. Mix that together, then rub that on your dog. Let it stand 5 minutes and rinse off. Actually, my dog after that, he smelled fine, and his hair is not like all poofy. He's so cute. But so the worst is not the dog now, is that the smell stayed in the house. I don't know, like in the bathroom, like it doesn't smell great. Like I tried to wash my floor with vinegar. I opened all the windows, all the doors, everything. I use my Lamberger, my wax melter. I have some smudge spray, white cedar that I sprayed everywhere. My perfume, especially this morning, like this smells awful. My throat was burning. But I did ask to remove the smell of the whatever in the pantry. And I was like, this morning I was driving and I was like, oh my God. Like I can say like, oh, that was horrible. I can say that was an experience. I never lived that before. Not that I wanted to live it, but I mean, I said, if that's the worst thing that can happen is that I smell bad. Oh my God, that's the worst thing that can happen is I smell bad. I didn't die. Nobody died, right? With the reality I'm creating, the worst case scenario is not even death anymore. So for me, I was like, oh, right? Because I'm like, I remembered when I was a kid, my parents would smoke, and the throat thing was like sore, and I would like put my a linen on my nose at times, especially at Christmas. I would go somewhere where there was less smoke because everybody was smoking. It was gross. I felt like trapped in there. And so, but at that time, I had the fear, if you breathe cigarette, you can die, right? It can cause cancer and all the diseases. And it was just like, my health. So yesterday, as I was in bed, lying in bed, I'm like, what's the worst thing, right? Right now, this is just a circumstance. How do I feel about it? I can choose it's positive or negative, right? What's the good thing? Like, how does it feel? Because I was like, well, it's frustrating because I wanted to go to bed. I actually had a good night's sleep for once this week. But also I was like, oh, the worst thing that can happen is because my girls have cheerleading camp this week. I sang them up this week and last week. And I'm like, what if we smell so bad, I can bring them to their last day of camp and they can't do their show? Because, if they would have smelled super bad, I would not have sent them, right? I would not have wanted people to laugh at them or like to be rejected for that. And because I know in high school, there were people, armpit wise, they were not the greatest smelling, they were the smellies, people were calling them. And I don't want my kids to be the smellies. And I know it's not about cigarette, and I know it's not about, armpits, but it's still a skunk. And it was just like, so for me, the fear was that my kids would miss out on their activity. And like, oh, well, then I create my reality and they're still going to go. It's fine. Like, we're just going to give them clean clothes, like whatever, right? It's all good. So, and it's just saying my life is not in danger. I can't die from smelling like a skunk, right? And also, hey, Marcus and Adam, good morning, good afternoon. And also, so with that skunk story, because I did have a skunk, and just that I used to say, oh, weed smells like skunk, right? I knew people who would smoke weed, and I'm like, the smell is just disgusting. And I was like, not I smelled the skunk. I was like, yeah, no, the smell was so, I don't know. When you just pass on the street, like on the road with your car, and it smells like skunk. That's pretty mild. That honestly is pretty mild. There's when it's like right there, like in the puppy. Anyway, it was gross. Anyway, I can just say that. But I know one of my friends on TikTok, she was like, oh my God, like 2 days ago, this guy I know sent me like a message about a skunk and something else yesterday about a skunk. I'm like, well, we're on the vibration of skunk now, right? Anyway, so I just wanted to share this story with you. So if anything like this happens, you get the choice to, okay, how is that relief from something before? Because the better it gets, the better it gets. So even when I think something is bad luck, how is that actually a good thing, right? It actually got me to say, okay, I'm done with living in a backyard that, other animals can come in, right? I'm like, ooh, if it smells bad, I'm starting to get annoyed with this place. Does that mean my vibration is like making me push myself to be ready to leave? I'm like, oh, that's good, right? If I can move that mouse at one point, I'll be like, screw that, I'm gone. And then I'm going to be gone. Where's my next vibration taking me? And I was at a dinner yesterday, actually. My husband used to be he's a McGill alumni. I don't know if it's alumni or alumni. And thank you, Marcus. Says I'm always as pretty as usual. And so McGill alumni, they have once a year, they have a dinner. And for the past, like I went this year, I was invited, and like 3 years ago, I was invited again. I'm like, but I've not ever studied there. Anyway, I said, you know what, nice fancy dinner, I'm gonna go. And there was a conference, and so 3 years ago I went. I met someone from there. She knew a life coach, Jason Goldberg, in California, which I had met as well with Mind Valley. And like, it was just like, oh my God, the world was so small, like how we connected, and she, together. And after that, so this year I went back, and I'm like, you know what, I am a McGill honorary member. My husband passed away 5 years ago, so technically I represent, him as the wife, as the survivor. I represent him in whatever happens with that, right? And so I went to the dinner. There was Paul Martin, one of the ex-prime minister of Canada there. He was like a VIP guest. I didn't talk to him, but the speaker that was there was Stephen Poulos, and I think he's the 9th governor of the Bank of Canada. He former, like he's not anymore. But so he gave a conference, and I was chatting with the guy on my table, and me with my beliefs and about abundant mindset. And when he was talking, there was a lot of good things he was saying. Right? Okay, no recessions. Like, there's no recession. I don't think there is. I'm like, okay, I like this. And there's a couple of things that he was saying. I'm like, I was kind of cringing a lot. I'm like, no, that you're manifesting this. Like, this is what you assume. And I actually went to see the guy after, and we had a little chat. I told him about my, how he could change a couple of things. And one thing that he said was, sometimes there's good luck, sometimes there's bad luck. There's most good luck, in his belief. And I said, it's all about mindset. I said, it's a great thing of saying it, but since you're a person of power, right? You're a person who has influence, and who influences banks, government, people. And so for me, it was important to go and say hi. Like, I was not going to do it at first. I was debating if I was going to ask a question or not. And in the end, I said, I'm just going to go and say hi at the end. And he was by himself, so that was perfect occasion. And I went and say hi and talked to him and said, next time, don't talk about good or bad luck, because you're teaching your brain that luck, when you think about luck, you should be excited about it, not being confused. Is it going to be a good thing or a bad thing I'm going to get, right? No, because first of all, is you create your reality. But second of all, is if you want to have luck means something good happen. So I told him there's no bad luck, right? If you want to go with the word luck, it's always good luck. You just have to shift the mindset. You just have to reframe the situation. How is the situation that you think is bad luck is actually a good thing, right? And like I said, my husband passed away 5 years ago, and I said, I could see it was a bad luck that he got cancer. But to me, and it's weird to say that, because people will judge, and that's okay. But in a way, when I look at my life and where I am, that's good. Yeah. What about luck? That would be a good song. Anybody out there? What about luck? That would be a really good song. But yeah, so it's like him passing away actually sent me directly into my dream life. Not that I was not living a dream life, but I was not living a dream life. I was living a life that I settled for. Be the mom, be the teacher, be the wife, right? I've always wanted to be like a teacher when I was a kid. So I did live some dreams I wanted, but they were not my real dreams, right? And so I don't even know what him in this life he wanted, like with his belief, right? So, and I said, now cancer, we can say it's bad. But for the people who survive cancer, a lot of them will say, you know what, it was a good thing in the end, because I got to stop. I got to rethink my life. And I got to change things that I would have not changed otherwise if it wasn't from that, right? And so it's just, it was for me to allow whatever we consider bad luck is to change it. And I'm becoming more and more at peace with the fact he passed away. Like, I just drove in front of a hospital the other day, and it said, help us not fight cancer, help us be against cancer or something. And I'm like, well, we're still focusing on cancer, right? The universe gives you more of what you focus on. I don't want this. Oh, she's talking about this. Let's give her more of that. So it's like, no, we cannot be against it, because everything that happens has benefit for people. Everything. It's hard. Sometimes it's really, really hard, but it's there's always a benefit when somebody develops a disease or develops something in their body. There's something good about it. If somebody like even gets fired from work, something could happen because most likely, since it's their energy, they didn't want to leave. They were pushing themselves and being there. So every time you see something that's bad happening to you, see how you were thinking about wanting different and wanting better, because that's what you're getting. But it's hard to see it when you're right in it. And when we want to be the victim, oh, people will love me more, they will help me more if, for me. But we want people to be empowered. And this is why any abuse, anything that's bad, instead of saying, oh, they were good, they were bad, they were good, is getting them out of the cycle. Right? If the Cartman, I think it's Cartman, I'm not quite sure how to say it. The Cartman cycle is there's the abuser, the victim, and the person who keeps they keep the circle around. And so you don't want to be in that circle. You want to take everyone and be empowered. So the person who feels victimized, you empower them in feeling better about themselves and more confident. The person who's kind of the abuser, you help them feel more confident in themselves so that they don't have to take it on other people, right? And so you just get everyone out. Anyway, so the thing about me feeling more at peace with my husband is that saying the cancer does not trigger me anymore. Even on the radio the other day, somebody said, oh yeah, I was cancer, I had cancer, blah, blah. And it's not that I don't feel for them anymore, right? But now I see as, like, I'm not here to save the world, because the world doesn't need saving. The world is perfect as it is, because within myself, it's perfect. Like, it doesn't seem perfect, but bad things happen. But that's what their soul came, right? Their soul is coming to find out who they are and what's going to happen. And those things give us contrast as to what we do desire in our own life. So when we stay in our own shoes, it's actually better than actually going in other people's shoes. We don't know how people feel. Oh, I can assume this. Oh my God, you guys, on TikTok. And I'll just go with that here. I did a video, like a quick video that shows like a little bit of that writes my story. Or like, my husband died, I got arrested, my dad did this, the in-laws did that, right? Just because I wanted to show like, how much I went through. Like for me, that was like, look how much I went through and I'm still strong, right? The backlash I got, oh my God, why is that a happy post? Your husband died, right? You're disrespecting the dead. You're terrible because I arrest someone. Oh my God, you're the devil. Your kids, poor kids. Like it's ridiculous the amount of, I could say, critique and comment people send. And I enjoyed, I'm like, all right, let's see. Because now I know I am my own validation. And whatever they said on there, I was telling myself these things at one point in the past, right? And so now I'm like, well, you know what? I forgive myself. And now I was able to use their comments, tell them to fuck off, and to actually give them a new perspective about my own life and how I got through it. For those who are widows and those who are grieving, that people actually do tell them, right, those things, and see what you can tell them back. But it was so that like there's, oh, you're so disrespectful. I'm like, but it's my truth. If I speak about my truth and disrespect my husband, then I am not the problem. Is the behavior that was disrespectful, right? If anything. And sometimes it's not even conscious until you realize, like, oh my God, also I was disrespectful to myself. But anyway, so I had after this, I did like, there must have been like 30 different comments. I had a dream one night where my husband was there. I was in my bathroom, my sister, one of my sister-in-law, and he was sitting beside her, but she couldn't see him. And I was like, he's there. He's just beside you and he's giving you a kiss on your forehead. And she was so at peace. And I was at peace with seeing him too. And it felt so good to seeing her at peace too, that we were all at peace there. And I tell the spirit world, I'm like, I don't want to see you guys. I'm afraid, I'm going to be creeped out by seeing souls and whatever spirits. But the more and more like I'm talking about it, there's a part of me that's kind of like curious. Because I do have two friends that are medium. And one of them, she's like, I can turn it on or off. Before I go in a room, I turn it on and see if there's anybody who has a message they want to say to someone. Then I turn it off. And if I have to work with someone, I'm going to turn it on. But she gets to do that. So it's not like they're always there, that she's focused on that all the time, which I think is very cool. And I'm like, the peace I found in seeing him, I don't know, maybe it has nothing to do with me becoming a medium in the future and developing that gift, more about me being at peace with my husband. I think that was it, like to be not having any negative or resentment, negative emotion, resentment or sadness, and seeing him, it was just like, I can see him. That's fun, right? There was no negative anything in that dream. And when I got up, actually, then my daughter started puking everywhere. she woke up in the middle of the night also, like, oh, I know vomiting is when you change vibration. Vomiting is kind of like afraid of change, like it's like a resistance to change. And I was like, ooh, I used to say I don't want to see spirit, but now I'm like starting to change the idea and be okay with it. And boom, she vomited everywhere. She didn't have a fever or anything. She was just like one thing. I'm like, okay. So anyway, it was just an interesting thing. And I could see like my dog, and for those who don't like gross things, block your ears for the next 2 minutes. My dog was eating the vomit on the floor, okay? And I'm sharing this because I want to share my perspective on that one. And I couldn't see, like it was dark, so I was like cleaning as much as I could. And he was just licking the floor and eating whatever she had. And then at one point, so I cleaned up everything, and I see him in the bathroom starting to vomit. And I was like, well, okay, whatever. And it was just a little pile of noodles, right? I'm like, well, you know what? Instead of being weirded out or mad at it, like there's something I can do. Like, thank you for having helped me clean up the floor. Thank you because if there was all these noodles everywhere, it's harder to clean up. So he actually really helped me. He picked up the big pieces, and I just had to spray and wash, right? It's kind of gross, but at the same time, that's what happened. I just had to pick up that little bloop, and that was it. Like, anyways, I just thought sharing that with you guys because I thought, we get to choose. No, I have two people, like my kid and my dog who puked. All right, ball, my life is over. Or saying, you know what? My meal wasn't that great anyway. And then my dog helped me, right? I had support in cleaning, and it made it less bleh to clean. And just this morning, I was chatting on TikTok with just reading my lines here. I was chatting on TikTok about relief. I'm like, if my dog was to pass away, I wouldn't be okay with it. Because I do have my screen door, my cat and my kid, and when they pull on the screen, so now there's a big gap, and now like the cat started coming out of it. Now my dog started going through it. I haven't got it fixed yet because I'm like, you know what? This is kind of like my dog, my animal trap. Now I just open the door and they go through the screen whenever they go, whenever they want, they go in and out. And I don't have to care about it. So that's one thing that's easy. And I'm like manifesting my dream life where all my doors can be open. There's no bug coming in and people are just free to go in and out, right? And with the skunk story today, I made my house aerate. I opened my door and like, you know what? I don't care about the bugs right now. I just want the smell out. I just need the air to circulate, right? So everything is open. The garage door, the front door is closed, and it was just like, I need that. And it's like, that is the dream life I'm looking for. So I'm like, it's happening. I'm getting into that vibration, and it was awesome. And so my dog, when he goes in the backyard, I got like tiny fans, but now he can jump over, and he goes to the neighbor, and he goes in the street. And before I was like, Prince Philip, come back. Like I was upset at it because then I would run away after him. I would run after him. But, if I chase, what is he doing? He's chasing, he's running further. And so that was not a great thing. I didn't want to run. So now I can just call him. Like I didn't do anything. I just said, we don't chase, we track. And I don't run after him. Or if I run, I'm going to run the other way. So for those who know your dog is running away, start calling their name and run the other way. Then they're going to be thinking you're playing with them. And they're going to run after you. And I did that once in my street. Come on, boy. And he would go further and sprint. And I'd turn around. And he came back and followed me. And then we did that like a few times in the street. But it's a very, like my street is not, like there's no traffic whatsoever. Like one car every half hour, if so. But so like now I was like, well, if my dog runs away, I let him go and sniff around. Now I let him free. You want to go sniff the neighborhood? You want to go say hi to people? Fine. If anything happens, I'm okay with it, right? Sometimes I can be a little burden. But it's just, I am fine if anything happens, but now he always comes back. And it's when I'm like, oh, he always comes back. Which is great, because what belongs to you always comes back to you. You could do nothing or anything and they'll always be back. So sometimes when he leaves, 10, 15 minutes later after that, I see him in the door. I'm like, there you go. Like, I don't have to run after you. I trust the universe as your back. If you want to be alive and with us, you get to decide. There's nothing I can do to force you to be here, right? And as I was talking about, I'd be relieved if he died. He started barking because there was noise outside. Then I said, you know what? I feel relieved. I'm okay with my husband who's dead, right? I'm okay with him being dead. And then I saw like one butterfly and then two, three butterflies in my window. And I was talking on TikTok. I'm like, oh, I think that might be Eric. Oh, and that might be my mom, because it's a different one, right? And I was just saying how I am okay with them being dead. And for a long time, I was ashamed of saying that, right? I'm okay, he's dead. That sounds so cold-hearted and heartless, right? She's okay, her husband is dead. But at the same time, right, if we imagine a place where like they're just on the other side, and so if some of them need to finish whatever work they need to do to go further in the light, or whatever it is, the belief you believe, right? If I went with that perspective of, but if I'm not okay their life, the worst thing is they're gonna feel guilty that they died, right? I know they don't, because if you go with the belief that we go back to source and all resistance is gone, then they're just always unconditional love and always happy. But now is if we go with the belief that, if I'm not okay that they're dead and I'm still angry and whatever, they could feel guilt. And actually me being okay is giving that peace of mind to the spirit world and saying, okay, I can leave, or I can rest in peace now. I don't have to be guarding her or protecting her again, like, or making sure she's fine, because she's really fine. So my job is done, right? I can rest in peace. There's relief for the dead when you are alive and happy and moving on. Like, not even moving on, but just now, if you think them as a person who actually would have feelings, if I was to die, I wouldn't want my kids to spend the rest of their life being sad for me, like being sad because I'm not there. Yeah, it's sad. Acknowledge the sadness, and every time that you miss me, that's okay. But like, don't feel guilty that you're happy. I feel guilty I was happy. I feel guilty at abundance. I was living my dream life. Man, when you love someone, you want them to live their dream life. You want them to live their dream life. So actually, me not wanting to live my dream life because I'm ashamed because I'm doing it without my husband, when he was not part of that dream life, in a way, if I'm honest, he was not my dream guy, right? That was not my dream life I was living in the North. Definitely not. So there was a lot of like, him passing away got me my dream life. And so by me starting to be okay and being at peace with it, I do believe I'm giving him relief and peace on his end too. Energetically, like, right? Energetically, whatever is going on, energetically, it's just also a mirror of me, right? If I'm okay, whatever I would assume of him is just a reflection of how I feel about me. So that was good, like, to say, by me being happy is actually giving him relief and peace. So rest in peace, and because I rest in peace, like I actually am I'm at peace with what happened. So that's how I saw it, that as I'm happy, my husband is happy for me to be happy. If I die, I don't want to see and witness my kids to be sad for the rest of their life. There's nothing, because I can't do anything, right? Technically, I can touch you and comfort you. So the good thing would be for you to be happy. So I'm like, there you go. I'll give that myself. But yeah, so that was the thing about this. And one more thing, at the dinner yesterday that I went, there's a girl, she had a very pretty peacock dress, and she had like a nice hat. And I said, oh, you have a beautiful hat. And she said, oh, thank you. You have a good taste in hats. And I like how she still, she acknowledged my compliment. She still sent back something instead of like not doing anything. But it's like not complimenting something about me. She's like, I like your taste in hat. I'm like, you're not complimenting something of me. You're complimenting my taste. I'm like, oh, I like that. Anyway, I just wanted to share that quick story here with you guys, just because I thought it was interesting. It's a way we can reframe and re-say some things to other people. So on this, you guys, I will wish you an amazing time. I think this weekend I'm going to see the hot air balloon take off in Saint-Jean. It's their closing weekend, so we might go see that if the weather is nice. And so on this, for us, it's Friday, but I don't know when you're going to listen to this. Please leave me comments. If there are subjects that you guys want me to talk about, please send me a message at maryevmongrain.com or on my Instagram, even TikTok at like hashtag, no, not hashtag, but a commercial, like the A at Ève Mongrain, Marie Mongrain 90, and send me comments. And if you would like to be coached like on my show, you can actually go on my website. You can also send me an email, but I think if you go on my website, I do believe I do have a place where you can actually sign up to be a guest. There's a questionnaire you can answer, and I would love to have you. Either we can coach if you want to share who you are, what you do, like in your business, we can do that too. But I would like mostly to have people who want to be coached, and I would share that on here. So instead of just talking about my life, I would do some coaching with you guys recorded. So on this, you guys, I'm Ève Mongrain. I'm your Mindset Life Coach. And on this, I wish you a good day. Ciao. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.